Hi soulmates, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew this trouser side pocket. If this is what you're interested in learning, keep watching and let's get into the tutorial. This is my front trouser pattern. From the hip I'll be coming up 2 inches and connect with a straight line to the side seam. On the waist area I'm going to be coming inward 1.5 inches and I'll connect with a straight line to this point. This straight line here is my crotch measurement on the pattern divided by 2. I'm just going to curve it this way to the hip line. Now it's looking like a pocket. Okay, now you're going to be tracing out this point this way all the way up. So I've added paper underneath my pattern and I'm going to be tracing that out. So just watch the way I trace. This first one that I'm tracing is the pocket facing. I'm done tracing. I'm going to be marking out the tracing on the pattern, okay, the point on the pattern. So after marking that, I'm going to be connecting it with my ruler. So I'll be adding seam allowance around this area. You know there's already seam allowance at the waist area and at the hip area, okay, so I'm just going to add seam allowance at the straight line. Okay, so I will show you that when I add the seam allowance. Now I'm going to be tracing out the pocket bag. Just watch the way I'm going to be tracing that out. I'm going to be tracing round the pattern this way. So you just make this like this is a great point. I'll be adding seam allowance, half of an inch seam allowance around this area. There's already seam allowance at the side and at the waist. So this is my pocket facing. Okay, I'm going to be cutting 2 pieces of it, and the other one is my pocket bag, which I'll also cut 2 pieces for it. Now back to the trouser pattern. I'm going to be adding half of an inch seam allowance from this point straight down. I'm going to be cutting that off just like so. For my trouser facing and trouser pockets, I've added seam allowance around the half of an inch seam allowance, and I'm going to be cutting that just like so. So after cutting it out, I'll go and cut my trouser pattern on my fabric and also the pockets on the fabric. So this is it. I'm done cutting it out, and I've also overlocked the side of the fabric, as you can see, and I chalked the front and the back so I won't make mistakes. And the trouser as well, I cut 2 pieces for my trouser and I also overlocked the side. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to be stitching that down. Okay, so the pocket facing front side of the trouser, okay, and I'm going to be pinning that down. Now I'm going to be flipping it this way and top stitch on the pocket facing. Now I'm going to be bringing the pocket bag. Okay, I'm going to place it this way, front side facing front side of the pocket facing this way. Make sure the curve lines together. I can see the curve. Make sure they are aligning this way. I'm going to be pinning that down and stitch the sides together. So I'm done stitching it. I'm just going to flip it this way, okay, and pull here out like this. So I'm just going to stitch that down with like 1/4 of an inch, the pocket and the main trouser together. Just stitch it so it can just stay in place. Just a little, just 1/4 of an inch. Just stitch the pocket and the trouser together at that side. So also for the waist area, I'm also going to stitch that down 1/4 of an inch just so the pocket can stay in place. Alright, so I'm just going to match the notch here and I will stitch that down. So that will be all for this pocket. Hope you find this tutorial helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so whenever I drop a new video you'll be notified. Give me a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. See you in my next one. Bye for now.